Hello, students. So, welcome to the second semesters. And in the last semester, basically, we have tried to understand the fundamentals of nanoscience, and then we also look into chapters where we try to learn the making of nanomaterials using two different approaches, that is a top down approach and bottom up approach. Okay, so basically this was the initial stage of fundamental of nanoscience and nanotechnology, where we see how the nanotechnology, what is the nanoscale, what is nanoscience, what is nanotechnology, and we have also seen the different types of nanomaterials, that is a one dimensional, two dimensional, three dimensional, and zero dimensional material. Then we have seen important aspects of quantum confinement and surface area to volume ratio. In addition to that, we have seen the history of nanomaterials and the nano technology which is present in the nature. And we have seen several important examples of nanotechnology. Okay, and then we have seen that you are able to prepare that nanomaterials by two fundamental approaches, that is a top down approach and bottom up approach. Okay, and once you prepare it, then you are able to visualize it by some sophisticated techniques like scanning electron microscopy, transmission electron microscopy, or sometimes you can also use the scanning tunneling microscope. Okay, so with the help of these visualization techniques, you are able to understand what is the size and what is the shape of the nanomaterials. Okay, so now in this semester, basically we are trying to see uh, that how the properties of nanomaterials are going to change when we are taking the material from bulk scale, that is a micro scale, to the nanoscale. Okay, so as far as the properties are concerned, there are four types of properties of the material are important. Okay, so the first is a physical properties of nanomaterial. Okay, physical properties. Okay, so like it's a melting point. Okay, or you can think about the what is the strength of the material, what is the hardness of this material. So these are the mechanical properties of nanomaterials, how the thermodynamics of these nanomaterials is going to change. Okay, so that is under basically comes under the physical properties. Second is the electronic properties, where you can see that basically we are well aware that the material is categorized into depending upon its conductivity or resistance. It is categorized into three types, that is a metal, semiconductor, and insulator. Right, so how its electronic properties or electrical conductivity is going to change when the material, when the size of the material is shifted from bulk to nano. Right, then third type of properties is belongs to the optical properties of nanomaterials. Okay, so optical property is nothing but what is belongs to its color. Right, so how the color of the materials is going to change, and this optical absorption and is belongs to the light. So how the light is interacting with the material when it goes to the nano. Okay, whether it is behaving in a similar manner or it is behaving in a different way, that can be understood in the optical properties. And the last one is the magnetic properties of nanomaterials. So you all are aware about that magnetic materials. So we have different types of magnetic materials, and what happens to these magnetic materials once we travel the size of the nanomaterials, size of the material from bulk to the nano. Okay, so this is the syllabus of this semester. So I'm just going to introduce the points which are present in the syllabus. So in the physical properties of nanomaterials, as you can see, the melting point and phase transition processes at nanoscale materials, then size induced metal to insulator transition, that is a CMIT. Okay, so if you change size of the material due to quantum confinement effect, its band gap is going to increase. As we are reducing the size more and more, its band gap is going to increase, and that is why there is a transition from metal to insulator. Okay, and then as I said, the mechanical characterizations are there, that is the modulus, load carrying capacity of nano region, compressions, micro hardness, fatigue, aberration and wear resistance, superplasticity, nano indentation. So indentation is a very common in the mechanical properties, but here it is a because we are working at the nanoscale, so we call this as a nano indentation. Then tribology is again a very common technique where the rubbing the surfaces will produce some effects. So but if the surface have the nanostructure, then we have to understand it at the nanoscale, and then this tribology is get converted into nanotribology. Okay, so these are the words, that the nano indentation, nano tribology, these are the words which are coming only when we are talking about the nanomaterials. So in the nanotribology, surfaces and interfaces in nanostructures, then grain boundaries in the nanocrystalline materials, thermodynamics of materials is very common. Okay, we know that the zeroth law, first law, second law of thermodynamics. But what happens if we whether the thermodynamical laws remains the same at the nanoscale or not, that we are going to understand. Then surface properties, because as I said, the surface plays a very important role, because the surface area to volume ratio is going to increase a lot. Okay, when the material is reduced to the nanoscale, and therefore its surface properties like surface energy, chemical potential as a function of surface curvature, electrostatic stabilization, okay, surface charge density, electric potential at the proximity of solid surface, van der Waals attraction potential. So the surface related effects is going to change when we are going to the nanoscale, and then we can basically try to correlate these mechanical properties, thermodynamical properties based on the surface properties of these nanomaterials. The electrical conductivity, that is the surface scattering, charge electronic structure, quantum transport. Okay, so basically these are some of the electrical conductivity related to the surface of the nanomaterials is going to change. Okay, in the second chapter, basically you can see that we are trying to understand the electronic properties of nanomaterials. Okay, so in this basically the size and how the size of the or dimension or shape of the material is going to affect the electrical properties that we are going to see. So as far as the electronic properties of nanomaterials is concerned, the electronic structure of nanoparticles. Okay, so that is the band. Okay, what is the electronic levels? Okay, so these are at any of the nanoparticles. Then zero dimensional, one dimensional, two dimensional nanostructures, cluster of metals and semiconductors, nanowires. So that is what the we are trying to understand. It's an electronic structure. Okay, then electronic transport in one dimensional, two dimensional and three dimensional. Okay, quantum confinement, energy subbands, density of states, very important aspect is which is going to explain why there is a change in the band gap of the material due to quantum confinement is because of change in the density of states. Then the effective mass, okay, then root conduction, this is a very fundamental conduction mechanism, then main free path in three-dimensional, okay. So these are this root conduction is basically helps us to understand the conductivity in the three-dimensional material, that is the micro material, okay. And then that is a ballistic conduction, okay. So the conduction that is happening in the nano material is basically the ballistic conduction. Then there is one more effect which is called as a Coulomb blockade, then phase coherence length, quantized conductance, diffusive transport, okay, quantization of resistance, and particular example of this quantization of resistance we are going to see as a single electron transistor. And then we have additional diode like Esaki diode and resonant tunneling diode. Fundamentals of electrical conductivity in nanotubes and nanorods. Particularly, we will see the example of carbon nanotubes, how the electrical conductivity of carbon nanotubes is taking place. Okay, what is the photoconductivity of nanorods, electrical conductivity of nanocomposite. So, as far as if you take the nanocomposite aspect, then we have in our previous semester we have learned that the nanocomposite is playing an important role in defining the properties of nanomaterials. Okay. Then in the third chapter, as you can see, which belongs to the optical properties of nanomaterials. So as I said, the optical properties of nanomaterials is basically belongs to absorption, whether the absorption is direct or indirect, it depends upon this type of band gap, that is a direct band gap or indirect band gap, their transitions. Okay, then emission, whether it belongs to photoluminescence or Raman scattering, or it belongs to chemiluminescence and electroluminescence. So all these type of our luminescence properties which we are going to see. Then shape dependent optical properties. If we have a spherical nanoparticle, if we have a cubic nanoparticle, okay, or nanorods, okay, then whether its optical properties are remain same or they are going to change. Doped semiconductors, absorption and luminescence, optical properties of metal oxide nanomaterials, right? So on one hand we have to understand the optical properties of metal, okay, like gold, okay. So as you are aware that the gold in the bulk is yellow, but when we go to the nanoscale, then you have different colors of gold. You have gold in the blue color, in the red color, in the yellow color, right? So these are the different optical properties of metal. Likewise, we have to understand the optical properties of metal oxide nanostructures. Particularly, we are taking the examples of quantum dots, and we are trying to understand as the size of the quantum dot is reduced, then its band gap is going to increase, and as its band gap is changing, its color of the nanoparticle is going to change. So very interestingly, the material will be same, but depending upon its diameter of the quantum dot, the color of that nanoparticle is going to change, right? And then optical absorption and optical emission. Okay, strong absorption, lack of emission, and surface plasmon resonance. This is one again an important thing which is going to happen in the when the material goes to the nanoscale. There is a new phenomena which is called as a surface plasmon resonance. Okay, so plasmons are formed, and the frequency of the plasmon it get resonate. Okay, resonate. So it matches with the frequency of the incident light. Okay, so then there is a resonance and there is a change in the amplitude of the plasmon resonance. Okay, so that is belongs to the surface, and that we are trying to understand in this chapter. So applications of optical properties of nanomaterials, that is luminescence based detection, Okay, so we are going to see several applications which belongs to surface plasmon resonance, solar cells, photoelectrochemical cells, light emitting diodes. So these are the few of the examples which we are trying to understand under the optical properties of nanomaterials. The last chapter is belongs to the magnetic properties of nanomaterials. So as we can see that we are aware about the magnetic materials. So we will start from the origin of magnetism. Okay, we will start from atom and how a particular atom has can whether it is a magnetic or non-magnetic. So which factors are going to decide that the material will remain in either in magnetic state or non-magnetic state. Then depending upon the strength of magnetism, there are different classifications of material, that is a diamagnetic, paramagnetic and ferromagnetic materials. Then uh, we will see what is hysteresis in ferromagnetic material. Okay, so hysteresis is basically signature of these magnetic materials. If a material is magnetic, then definitely you have to observe a very nice hysteresis loop. Okay, a more better is the loop, more magnetic the material is. Then what is domain, and then what is soft and hard magnetic material, how the cohesivity is going to change with respect to particle size, what is called as the single domain particles, what is a super paramagnetism. Okay, now this effect is a new super paramagnetism. Now this super paramagnetism will only originate when the material enters into the nanoscale. Okay, as far as the material is remain in the bulk scale. Okay, we are only available with the effects like diamagnetic, paramagnetic, ferromagnetic, ferrimagnetic, antiferromagnetic. Okay, so these are known effects to us, but we realize that when the material goes to the nanoscale, okay, then the material is showing a new effect which is called as a super paramagnetism. So super paramagnetism will only exist in the nanoscale, and when the material is in bulk, there is no super paramagnetic properties. So what is super paramagnetism? Okay, how it generates. Okay, so that everything we are going to see in this chapter. Then there are important coupling mechanisms. So some of the examples of coupling is exchange coupling. Okay, in magnetic multilayers, it is also called as RKKY coupling. So basically this RKKY is short form of name of 4 scientists. Okay, that we will see when we are looking into the details of this chapter. Then very important effect we are going to learn in this chapter is giant magnetoresistance, GMR. Okay, so giant magnetoresistance effect is there. And then what is the origin of GMR, and then we have additional coupling effects like oscillatory exchange coupling, exchange biasing, spin wall, and perpendicular magnetic recordings. Okay, so as you can see that in this semester we are going to cover all the properties of nanomaterials. So particularly I will keep introducing you the properties of the materials at bulk level. Okay, so in each chapter, in first of the initial half chapter, we will learn the fundamentals of these properties at the bulk level. And then when once we understand the properties of the bulk material, then we slowly shift it towards the nanoscale, and we will try to observe that how the properties are going to change when we travel from the bulk to the nano. Okay, so this will be the type of this will be the way by which we are trying to understand the different change in different properties of the nanomaterial. Okay, so this is all about the syllabus. Okay, so thank you so much. we will start from the second lecture, okay, that is the electronic properties. Okay, then we will see the optical properties, and because they are correlated to each other, okay, the electrical properties, then optical properties, then we will see the magnetic properties. Okay, so thank you so much. Okay, we will start soon our first chapter, that is from we will start from the second chapter, that is the electronic properties of nanomaterial. Thank you.